I grew up in Iowa, son of a Jewish Mexican immigrant, watching the 1986 World Cup with matzo ball soup in one hand and a soccer ball in the other. I wasn't the most skilled kid, but I was fit, relentless, and I could outwork anyone. And that became my edge on the field, in life, and eventually in my career. I played pro soccer, became a performance coach, trained Olympians, and for nearly 2 decades, I was head of performance for a professional soccer team. I built a life around movement, around pushing limits. And one morning after a workout, I got out of the shower, I toweled off. I felt a lump in my chest. I knew. I still have the text I sent my wife at 8:34 a.m. that day. I have cancer. Half of everyone listening will face cancer in their lifetime. That means you, your spouse, your best friend. For me, it started in the shower. Days later, it was confirmed. Weeks later, I was in surgery, tumor gone, lymph nodes removed, treatment started. Let me tell you what cancer does. Beyond the diagnosis, beyond the scans, beyond the surgeries, it isolates you, not just physically, but emotionally. I got caught in a loop. Am I dying? Will I be here in 5 years? Will my kids watch me fade away? While I sat in that fear, the rest of the process became clinical. Fluorescent lights, paper gowns, machines that beep but don't talk back. And I was told that my treatment would reduce reoccurrence by 32%. My brain couldn't stop calculating. So that means 68% chance this comes back. But amid the fear, a window opened. They say that cancer creates a window of opportunity, a brief, powerful moment where change becomes possible. When everything falls away and you're forced to ask, what else is there? What more can I do? And so I turned to what I knew, science, because I wanted to live. But the real window wasn't just about the data. It was something deeper. Cancer stripped everything from me. My schedule, my image, my sense of control. It showed me who I really was. I realized how distracted I'd been, how emotionally unavailable. This wasn't just a chance to survive. This was a chance to change. So I did what I'd always done. I chose to apply the research. I needed a checklist. I needed a protocol. I needed something I could act on. And I found it. Exercise. But not as a suggestion, as a form of medicine. In 2023, the challenge trial, an international phase 3 clinical trial, followed nearly 900 stage 3 colon cancer survivors. One group received standard post-chemo care, and the other group followed a 3-year exercise program. After 8 years of follow-up, the exercise group had a 28% lower risk of reoccurrence and a 37% lower risk of cancer-related death. Now, if that had been a pill, it would have made headlines. It would have made billions. But it wasn't a drug. It was exercise. And exercise isn't something that can be done to you. It's something you have to do for yourself. And that makes it harder because exercise isn't just physical. It's emotional. And I'd seen this happen before, not just in athletes, but in everyday people like Michelle. A woman in her early 50s came to us after chemo. She didn't want to be seen. She'd lost all her hair. She was afraid. So she started with walks, alone, just 10 minutes outside. But those walks turned into runs. And the runs turned into joining a group. And the group became her community. And the fear turned to confidence. She didn't start with intensity. She started with safety. Step by step, she grew faster, stronger, and most importantly, she started to feel like herself again. Her recovery didn't start with a protocol. It started with a walk, sense of dignity. I was no different. I knew the exercise prescription. Walk 150 minutes a week or 75 minutes of something harder. Strength train twice a week. Clear, simple. Even during treatment, I couldn't engage. My confidence was gone. I didn't trust my new body. I was exhausted, afraid, hesitant. I knew the science, but I was stuck. That's when Ethan stepped in. Ethan's my best friend. He's faced cancer twice. He became my guide, not for training plans, for life. We talked almost every day. Didn't fix me, just listened, reminded me of who I was. And I didn't have to figure everything out alone. Through his voice, I found mine. Through his presence, I started to move again. That was the turning point. Not the data, not the plan, the relationship. And I got mine from the people around me. I remembered a pro soccer player that I once coached, Etienne Barbara. It was his first season with the team. He was fast, strong, talented. 7 games in, no goals. He was stuck, pressured, spiraling. So I asked him, what made him love soccer in the first place? And he told me all about playing with his dad as a kid in Malta and the pride of wearing his country's colors. Those memories grounded him. The noise cleared, the joy returned, and the goals came. That experience reshaped how I coach because I realized that performance isn't just physical. It's emotional, it's relational. You can have all the protocol in the world, but if you don't understand the person behind the plans, you'll never unlock their potential. And that's what made the challenge trial so powerful. Yes, the exercise mattered. But buried in the fine print was the real difference maker. Every single cancer participant had a coach. Someone trained in movement, behavior change, oncology. Someone who didn't just know the science. They knew the person, their fears, their side effects, their story. They didn't all start the same. Some began with 10-minute walks and others were ready for runs, but nobody stayed where they started. Each week they were nudged forward, not pushed, guided. Because the real medicine wasn't just the movement, it was the relationship. Science gives us the plan. Connection gives us meaning. And we're seeing this model succeed elsewhere. In Norway, cancer gyms are inside hospitals, where patients go from diagnosis to treatment to movement, all under one roof. These aren't gyms like you're imagining. They're warm, they're bright, they're joyful. There's laughter, there's cooking classes, there's coaching, there's camaraderie. And it works. Patients return to function faster. They spend less time in hospital. They experience lower reoccurrence rates. And most importantly, they regain a sense of control. Now, this is not about fitness. This is about healing. It's about transforming clinical silence into human connection. It's about helping patients walk again with strength, with purpose, with someone by their side, because we know this: when people feel seen, supported, and guided, they move. And when they move, they heal. Right now in the US, we face a critical gap. 1.8 million people will be diagnosed with cancer each year. Only 4% of those will follow the exercise guidelines that could change their outcomes. It's not just a missed opportunity. That is a hidden crisis. So what do? We build a new model of care. We train a workforce of exercise oncology instructors, not just fitness experts, but professionals who understand the language of cancer and the language of movement. We place cancer-specific gyms inside hospitals where patients already trust the system, where exercise isn't optional, it's integrated, where movement isn't just physical, it's deeply human. I was lucky, I didn't have to go through this alone. With the right support, I was able to heal and reshape my life. And exercise helped me rebuild my strength, my confidence, my sense of self. And everybody deserves that chance. If you face cancer, even a short walk is a powerful first step. And if you're a healthcare provider, make exercise central to recovery, not just an afterthought. Because healing isn't just physical, it's how we find our way back to ourselves. Thank you.